In the past 20 years, we've been living through the death of the American male.
First and foremost, I don't think masculinity is in decline at all. In fact, masculinity is probably one of the most profitable positions to maintain online. That's why we see the rise in manosphere adjacent content and red pill content. The Andrew Tates, the Joe Rogans, the Fresh and Fit podcast bros, all of these people who position themselves as deeply masculine and powerful figures. And guess what? Their content resonates a lot with young men. Young men feel the desire to be masculine and connect with masculine ideals. Some of that's positive and some of that's negative. If you're interested in the more negative sides of hypermasculinity, you should check out my YouTube video I made where I dive into Batman, talking about how he relates to the rise in hypermasculinity in modern society. Later on in the video, Anthony Mackie talks about how there's an issue in which a lot of young men feel scared to fail and don't want to try. And he also talks about how a lot of young people don't know how to talk to women in real life. I don't think this is because of masculinity. I think this is because of Gen Z's unique position in society. Think about it. A lot of young Gen Z people went to high school during COVID. They had their entire high school experience online. Ages 15 to 20? Those are deeply formative years in which they spent the entirety of their time on a computer looking at a Zoom class. They missed out on so many experiences and opportunities to socialize and connect with people and learn more about themselves. Instead, they were sitting at home staring at a computer screen. So it makes sense why this generation is more recluse and less inclined to social interaction. It's because they were put in that position. On top of that, capitalism just makes it so hard to foster meaningful connections anyway. We work so hard in this day and age to make money, and things are 10 times more expensive than when boomers and Gen Xers were around. Life is expensive, work is hard, and we get tired quick. So when we come home from work, a lot of people just don't have the energy to go outside and try to do more things. The issue isn't masculinity. The issue is the impending doom of financial burden that makes us work and work and work and feel burnt out all the time. On top of that, there's a decline in third spaces. A lot of millennials and Gen Xers and boomers had this idea of a third space, a place where the community goes to congregate and connect with one another. That just doesn't exist in the same capacity for Gen Z. And it's becoming even harder for those spaces to exist because of the proliferation of social media and online communities. There's so much social disconnect with Gen Z compared to millennials and Gen Xers. And the reason for that is because of the unique position they're placed in when it comes to technology and capitalism. It's not because of a decline in masculinity.